Hey, 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 all my crafty friends. We are back with day 2 of our October daily stories album, whatever you want to call it, right? So, this day we decided this was a Monday and my husband was off. We had a little guy that wasn't feeling the best. So, and football had gotten canceled. That's the biggest part, or this wouldn't have been able to be possible. But so we decided a movie, a night in with a movie would be perfect. And this Addams Family is something that we have never explored. Like, we never have watched any of the Addams Family. So I talked to my husband the night before, and he was like, yeah, but it has to be the original, the 1999 one or 1991 one. And I'm like, are you sure? Like, I don't know if the kids are going to be into that. They're not. Every time we try to show them an older movie, they're just not into it. You know, the CGI and, all the graphics and everything. But I thought maybe this one, and honestly, I had never watched Addams Family either, so I had no idea what we were going to be getting into. And I wanted to watch, the new animated ones. But I was voted out even by the boys, so the 1999 one or 1991 one we paid for, rented because you couldn't find it anywhere else, and started getting, watching it. At first, it was not too bad, honestly. We found some humor in it, and, we're trying to figure it all out. But pretty much by the end, we were like, yeah, this wasn't the best one. But I feel like you gotta watch the old ones to enjoy the new ones, right? So, all right, so here we are. We are working on the back side of day 1, of course. And this is just going to be a nice, simple layout. You can see a few other projects going on there. But usually when we have a movie, I try to make a treat, try and make something. So this time we made, little dirt cups in fancy glasses with worms. And I figured that was pretty good for the Addams Family. Nothing like, actually, when I looked online, there wasn't like that many desserts, and I had to do it quickly. I didn't have much time. So that is what the picture's of. It is, of course, the little trailer movie to show which one we did, and then a funny picture of my little guy seeing his treat for the first time, and his little faces just kill me. So the black and gold paper is from Traci Reed's in Autumn Enchantment kit. That was, I think, a year ago, I believe is a year ago. Then there's like a plaid gold paper, actually, that I just used on day 1. It's the same exact one. I thought it matched the best. I was like, well, we'll just keep it going, some consistency. And then it was just a black strip with 2 2x3 pictures that were just matted on white, which is what I'm doing here. Just make those pop. And I did want to include one picture of the dessert itself. So I did have a little flip up and underneath that one. A lot of this was done in Photoshop, like normal. I don't know. I got to start thinking a little bit ahead and recording my Photoshop process so that I can give that to you guys here soon. But this one was pretty easy to come together. And I wrote my journaling. I finally did remember to do my journaling. Except for once I realized I had talked more about the movie and I didn't even mention the treats. So that's okay though. No big deal. We are just going to position those, little diagonal, give them a little room, figure that white space out. I did have to remember that my holes were going to go over there on that right side, which I'm not usually used to. I do have to remember that. Am I struggling with the Halloween kit from Allie? Yes. Do I love everything in the Halloween kit? Yes. But I am struggling because there's not many like cards or pattern papers. I mean, I guess there's a ton of pattern papers, but nothing like background papers. I don't know. I don't know if you can really design a whole album around just the Halloween kit. I think like you got to have some supplementary papers and definitely papers. I think definitely papers. You got to have some, you know, and it didn't come with cards. I honestly didn't even realize it didn't come with like 3x4 cards or 4x6 cards until I got it, which is not a big deal for me because that part I don't really use of kits and pretty much why I don't get physical kits. So in all retrospect, like that's the reason why I did get this kit was there was so many embellishments and it was very embellishment heavy. But I guess I just didn't plan ahead with like my backgrounds, right? So here I am. I'm struggling with what I wanted to title this page. Did I want to put it as movie night? I really wanted to do Addams Family in my new Stanley stamp. If you guys did not get the stamp from Carrie Bradford, y'all are missing out. I did the pre-order and it arrived just in time. I've used this in my planner. I'm telling you, I've had this stamp for what, 2 days, and I think I've used it like in several different projects already. It is the perfect Halloween stamp ever, like perfect Halloween stamp ever. So here I am struggling it a little bit. I do end up going forward and just putting some ink splatters on the bottom there with that close to my heart stamp. And then you'll see some ink splatters here just to grunge it up a little bit to not make it, you know, fix that white space, right? And I think that worked perfectly. And then you'll see here in a second, decide that I am going to go with Addams Family. The family portion is just not going to be in the Stanley font. It had to go a little bit smaller, and I just used a regular little font that I have laying around here. All right, so here I am pulling that Stanley font. I'm telling you, her Stanley font and, oh, what is that other one called? The other cursive one she just came out with. What is that one called? I can't believe I've forgotten it. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Iris, that one. I mean, I'm telling you, best stamp fonts. I need to get Iris, the extra large one, Iris too, but I don't know if it's going to come back in stock. All right. Oh, here I was like making sure that the holes were going to be on that side. So you get a little sneaky peek of my album there and a couple of things that I haven't been able to show yet because we have a release coming up here at the end of the week. I'm super excited about. All right, here we go, stamping, Addams Family. I love this stamp set because as you can see over there, it has like several A's and different height of A's and of different letters. It also has like the TH together. I used in my planner the L and the A together. I'm telling you guys, it's such a good stamp set. I'm loving it. See, a lot of the fonts just kind of fit into each other. I kept on making sure I was spelling it right because obviously seeing Adam like spelled this way was really tripping me out a little bit there. So just another simple page for day 2, using my Close to My Heart archival ink again. And, you know, like I said, I said in the beginning of all of this, we are going to keep everything as simple as we possibly can and not overthink things. So I definitely didn't overthink this one. And, you know, just kind of let it come together. I think the hardest part was me going through, or the longest part of today was going through and picking out some background papers and pattern papers from kits that I have in my stash to help me get me through this process. So I'm going to be doing a lot of printing today. Oh, you probably have seen in this one that I accidentally printed all of this on the wrong side of the paper. So that's why you do see things on the back of this paper. And unfortunately, I had printed things on the wrong side of the paper. I haven't done that in quite some time, but the good thing about it is you can just flip it over and print it on the right side. So, all right, so here we are. See that little, I think that's a Close to My Heart stamp set too. They're little teeny tiny. These are perfect. So, when you don't think that you need these little teeny tiny stamps, like, let me tell you, you do. So also, one thing that I have figured out in Photoshop, which I cannot believe that I never knew, is that you can do spell check in Photoshop. If you just go up to edit and hit there's a spell check in there. I always thought that there wasn't, and I always use that to my advantage of if I made a mistake in Photoshop, you can't anymore. Don't do that. Go spell check. And I'm glad that I did, because I had missed 2 apostrophes in there. I didn't have it in a couple of things. So, but yeah, my journaling was pretty simple about how we weren't the biggest fans of this one, but the kids are really looking forward to watching the animated one. I think that will be better, obviously. Excuse me. I also, when I stamped that bottom border, my acrylic block must have had some ink on it, and it got in there. So your best friend, I should say, will be a white Jelly Roll pen to clear up any mistakes. And now you can't even see it. I barely can see it in real person. All right, here I am just working on the flip out. And of course, like most of you know and watched my videos before, you will see that I just use regular old copy paper to make my flip ups. It's the easiest, non-bulkiest way for me to make flip ups. And I didn't even put a tab on this one. I know I didn't put a tab on the one yesterday too. I have went back and put a tab on that one. I just felt like that one needed a tab. I don't know. So I have on that one. This one I won't. It's not the most important picture under there. I just wanted it. Obviously, the picture of the treat was in the picture. I just thought that the picture of my little guy was hilarious. It's him being him, and every picture is not going to be perfect, of course. So I wanted that Addams Family actually over top of the picture, but then realized obviously that just because there was some white space in that, but obviously figuring out that wasn't going to work because then the flip up couldn't come up. So I just tucked it under, but put it under the photo, or put it over the photo of the next one. Used some American Crafts backdrop, or just star paper, kind of mimicking the gold and black one that I have in front here, to cover the back of this flip up, and then put a few, what is it? What are those darn things called? Word strips. There we go. On that, called it good. And then where to put the 2. That was where the next thing, but this gold circle from the Halloween kit from Allie Edwards was perfect. And then I used one of her gold 2s also to put my number 2. And all those golds matched. Now, the only thing that I was going to do, and if I probably would have had a little bit more time, I would have loved to run this star paper, the first one, through my foil quill, and just added a few gold ones. But, my foil quill last night was not being happy. Oh, it's actually foil quilling that piece, but do I love fall piece right there. And I know it's a big piece, but my silhouette was not being a friend yesterday. And so I was like, yeah, no, we're not going to wrestle with that today because we need to get this project done. We have lots of homework to do tonight, and lots of studying to do for some tests with the oldest one. And yeah, we're trying to do caramel apples tonight also. So I need to get this project done. That's what we need. So that is what we did. The only thing I didn't know was how to put that adhesive down, or what adhesive to use. I really didn't want to wrap my brain with being able to see the adhesive. You can a little bit. Again, it's just not something that I'm going to, get all upset about. If that is something that you can't stand and seeing the adhesive, you could stitch it. You could, I don't know what else you could do, honestly. I mean, stitch is probably the best way to put vellum down. Those vellum pieces are pretty thick. And honestly, I wasn't pulling out my sewing machine for that. So there's that too. All right, guys, here's some pictures, up close pictures. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have all been amazing. And if you've gotten this far, I would love if you would put a 2 in the comments for day 2 and let me know where you're at. Talk to you soon.